Welcome back. If you're just joining us right now, this is Prime Live on INX Prime channel 345. Now, yesterday, some 4 million union workers actually downed tools for the national stay away just to overemphasize and protest against the high costs of fuel, high food prices, the unemployment rate, as well as the electricity crisis that we have in South Africa. Now, union leaders actually held the government accountable and gave them an ultimatum that should the job opportunities not increase over the next few weeks, they will actually have a national uprising unless there is that drastic change. Now, we are joined with someone who's going to tell us a little bit more about that. We have the coordinator for Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, Thulisile Ndlovu. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. So, ma'am, if you're looking at everything that's happening in the country right now, we do know that this national shutdown is impacting the lives of so many people. We're seeing it trending on Twitter. 4 million union workers actually got involved in it. Do you think that's the most effective way for us to actually have a civil activism in that sense?
You know what is exciting about the question that you're asking is that as the civil society, sometimes we need to come together. And for me is that really yesterday went well. It was very peaceful. And as part of the workforce myself, I really respect and I really honor what has happened yesterday. But my worry is about young people. To say there are young people who are hustling out there, and some of them, they woke up early in the morning. They need to go to different corners. Their customers are us as the workforce. And yesterday it was too quiet for my liking, and they were not able to generate an income. And for them, it means that when we are talking about the crisis and, unemployment issues that are happening in South Africa, yesterday we added some of that as a workforce, as much as we were taking care of our needs, but we sort of neglected some of the important element, which is young people in that space.
And you spoke about hustling and a lot of young people. Everyone is struggling in South Africa. There's a lot of unemployment. The living conditions are very high. How do we change that as a nation?
I think, one of the things that is happening out there is that there is a young person who for the rest of their lives, they'll never get employment, opportunity. Not because they've got qualifications, they've went to varsity, they were able to have skills and study and all of that, but there are lesser opportunity in the formal space. So it means that for a young person, especially when you're looking at the data cost, when you're looking at the transport issues, where a person is taking about 2 or 3 taxis, they need to wake up early in the morning so that they're able to get to work. So that is sort of adding to the issues that young people are facing right now. And young people as a country, we need to look at how do we nurture now where young people, they start their own hustle. Because most of us were raised by parents who were hustling. I remember when I was growing up, my mother used to buy vegetables, and she will say that your lunch is in those vegetables, your pocket money, your school uniform, it's there. Everything was there. And I needed to come back from school and go and sell. So young people, they need to get into this mode of being self-employed rather than expecting someone to actually employ them.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what you said that was interesting now was almost like there's a compounding effect, that youth face. And I think every generation has their own difficulties and struggles, right? But what's interesting, and maybe you could speak to this a lot more, is within a digitalized era, postmodern, the globalized space. How much harder, can things be when there's things like black tax that young people are needing to pay off while they're trying to create their own hustle? Having an accelerator for, an investment into a business idea that you're starting is great, all fine and wonderful, but not everybody has that. And I presume that there is a certain demographic of people who, when deciding to go out and found a business, they're doing it because they need to be taking care of people already. So there's nothing already, now there's still nothing. I mean, would you agree that, let's say, post-2000s, 2022, things are more challenging?
They are more challenging, and you've touched on one of the issues that I always talk about with young people. Black tax, it's not going to go away anytime soon. And but one of the things that young people, they can empower with is having courageous conversations with, you know, your parents, because when you are operating in your home, that's a space where you're thinking that I won't be paying rent, I'll be able to have some of the products I'll borrow from my mother's kitchen, maybe flour and stuff. Your family, once they see customers coming in, they are thinking that there is a lot of money that is coming in. So they are sort of counting. It's not yourself as a young person who's counting the customers, because obviously young people, they need to know about the cost and the expenses and all of that. But now it's your family that is counting that, oh, that's money for bread, that's money for what? So at the end of the day, they need to have that courageous conversation to say, what does it mean to have a business?
Yeah.
And what does it mean when they're taking away from that business and they are supporting the family? So they need to remember that you're not the boss of the business. The business is your boss. So
Yeah,
you're accountable to your business. So it's important that at that time, your family, they need to understand all of those dynamics. As much as the black tax is going to happen, because, yeah, sometimes you're being blackmailed and stuff. I've carried you for 9 months and all of that.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to do that. But young people, they need to be resilient enough, and they need to express those things openly to say, what does it mean to have a business? It's like you're being employed. You can't ask someone who's employed each and every day you're asking for money. It doesn't make sense.
And that's if they are employed, and that's if they do have income coming in, right?
Exactly. But you're not paid every day where you're working. So even the business needs to operate in that way, where you're able to pay your salary as a young person in an entrepreneurship space.
Yeah.
I'm very inspired by the work that you guys actually do at Harambee, and I know that you have a lot of ambitions as well in terms of you know, impacting 3 million people in the next, especially young people, in the next 5 years, but also creating 1 million jobs in the next 5 years. Now, we know as entrepreneurs that SMMEs are, you know, very important for reducing unemployment. Why do you think the government hasn't put enough emphasis on entrepreneurship in South Africa?
I think one of the challenges that when you're looking at Harambee as a non-profit organization where there is a collaboration between the civil society, the public, the private space, the government and all of that. So right now I'm coming from Carltonville, where there was a Tepo Unlimited, you know, Gase Unlimited. And young people, they're starting their own businesses and stuff. But now the challenge is that they don't have enough information to say, once I've started my business, who can support me in that business? What can I do differently, even if I want funding? Because they need to understand that no one is going to invest the 50,000 rand when you've never even spent your 5 rand. It's important that you risk with your 5 rand so that you're able to do that. But opportunities where young people, they are coming, because some of them, they're into farming space. Some of them, they're doing a lot of wonderful work in the communities. But now the challenge is that the space, because there is a red tape where you need to go to someone so that you're able to find that space so that you can start farming. So if there is an accessibility to some of the land, etc., where young people, they need all of those spaces. And from the different organization on the grassroots to be able to identify that. Because as organizations, we can't operate in silos. Our main aim and vision, it's young people, it's empower them. So even the government needs to come on board. But those organizations, they know much better. And it's not about the competition. It's about coming together, work together, collaborate, and look at the issues on how we can assist young people. And we are inviting government. Partly government has been there, but for the government is to see more and to say, how do we sort of give the direction as the CBOs out there to say what needs to happen, because we are closer to the young people who are in the grassroots, where young people, they are able to see all of these things.
Talking about grassroots as well, and I mean, you're someone who is on the ground a lot. You know, township entrepreneurship is growing so much in South Africa as well. It's said that actually the biggest amount of turnover is actually being pushed out in the township areas instead of in the, you know, urban areas. So
and that's like undocumented informal entrepreneurship, right?
Yes, yes. So what's your opinion on township entrepreneurship? What do you think of it?
It's booming. It's happening. People, they only need people in the township, people in that space. They need, you know, a direction and know, because I always say that one of the things is that you need to scan your community. You need to know what is happening in your community. Secondly is that you need to find your passion, because we can't open 10 car washes. What is unique about yours? So we need to know what our customers need, and does it need a bucket, water, and a cloth for me to be able to do that? Or when I'm selling my business or marketing, I'm saying that there is more. There are more products that will make your car shine, that will make your car, you know, look nice and all of that. So when you're looking, is that there is a lot of things that are happening in that space. It's just that we need to tap into that, and we need to elevate it into a point where the customers, they are able to buy more. We need to believe in our product as the hustlers, and we need to believe in ourselves. Hustling, guys, it's not easy. It's really personal, and it's asking you questions.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to answer those
It takes
questions
your whole
for you to be able to do that.
A lot of the young people out there are tweeting right now. They want to actually get into contact with you. So I'm going to share your information with our young people out there as well. You know, her name is Thulisile Ndlovu from Arambe. You can get into contact with you on social media and all of that as well. So thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. We really do appreciate having you in studio today. Very insightful, but we're going to head off now into a quick ad break.
Thank you so much.